Our purpose as readers. I can identify figurative language, such as a metaphor, to better understand unknown words. Our to-do, watch this figurative language video. Then complete October 6th, Tuesday vocab metaphor workbook page on your Reading Wonders backpack. You can click here or you can click here. Again, our I can statement. I can identify figurative language, such as a metaphor, to better understand unknown words. What are metaphors? The sun is a yellow ball. This is a metaphor. A metaphor compares two things that are very different. We can look for metaphors as we read to better understand the text. Here are some more examples of common metaphors. Again, a metaphor is a direct comparison, meaning it compares two unlike things. Saying one thing is something else, even though literally it isn't. So here's a picture of an owl. He is a night owl. Owls stay up at night. That's when they hunt. That's when they are most active. So saying he, comparing a person to an owl, saying a person is a night owl, shows that they like to stay up late at night. They're comparing the person and the owl. You are the apple of my eye. You're comparing you to an apple in someone's eye. So the eye is what sees you. The apple has a core. So that means that someone thinks of you as their core, or they love you dearly. You're the apple of my eye. You're that core, that center that holds me together. That's a piece of cake. So a piece of cake is being compared to something that you're doing, and that just means that it's really easy. It's a piece of cake, because eating cake is so easy. It's so delicious. It's a piece of cake. It's easy. You're a star. Well, stars are very bright in the nighttime sky. They're always shining. So it's comparing a person to a star, meaning that you are always shining. You're a star. You shine brighter than most people. Or like a star in the sky shines brighter than the night. You're a couch potato. This is comparing you to being a couch and a potato. So a couch is still, a potato is still. If you are the potato on the couch, that means that you never move. You're stuck. So you are a couch potato. You're always on the couch. Ugly duckling. That's comparing someone to a duckling that doesn't have its colorful fur yet. So it's calling somebody ugly duckling. You're not as beautiful as everybody else. You're the odd duck out. Third graders, we read this text to identify features of the genre biography on Monday. Now we are going to look at the vocabulary metaphors, and we're going to close read page 72. It started with snow, in order to identify metaphors. When authors use figurative language, it helps us to form a picture in our mind. So let's go and identify those metaphors. A metaphor, remember, is comparing two unlike things to help form that picture in our mind. It started with snow. Mary Anderson grew up in Alabama. In the winter of 1902, she went to New York City. It was a cold and windy day. The sky was a gray curtain. Oh, I'm going to pause here. I see sky and gray curtain. Those are two unlike things being compared. The sky was a gray curtain. I'm picturing a dark gray curtain over the sky. That is helping me to visualize that the sky was dark and gloomy. Maybe a storm was brewing. It's cold, it's dark. In the right-hand corner of this Ed puzzle, answer the question, what does the sky was a gray curtain mean? Let's read on to identify another metaphor. Snow was a white blanket on the ground. Already, I can pause. Again, in the right-hand corner of this Ed puzzle, the right-hand side, a question is going to pop up. And you're going to answer, what two things are being compared? Let's check our thinking. Snow was a white blanket on the ground. Snow and white blanket. Those are two things being compared. And remember, the author uses the metaphor to help me put a picture or an image in my mind. I am picturing a ground covered with snow, just like a blanket covers the bed. It's covered with snow. Let's read on to identify the last metaphor for today. Mary was cold and wet. Because she wanted to warm up and get dry, she rode a streetcar. Back then, some streetcar windshields had two parts. They opened with a push. From her seat, Mary watched snow and ice build up on the windshield. The streetcar driver could not see, so he pushed open the windshield. This helped him to see better. As a result, snow and ice blew in his face. Soon, his nose and ears were ice cubes. Let's pause here. Again, on this Ed puzzle, on the right-hand side of your screen, a question is going to pop up. Try and identify the metaphor on your own that's comparing two unlike things. Let's check our thinking. Soon, his nose and ears were ice cubes. I see two things that are not the same being compared. Nose and ears. Those are being compared to ice cubes. What does that help you to visualize as a reader? Go ahead and answer that question to the right. Let's check your thinking. Well, in the sentence before this metaphor, as a result, snow and ice blew in his face. That tells me that the driver must be cold. There's snow and ice blowing in his face. So his nose and ears were ice cubes. His nose and ears must be frozen because ice cubes are frozen. That's how we use metaphors to help us visualize in our brain to better understand the text. You have just identified figurative language, such as metaphors in the text. Great job.